Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connecting with AP Students in College Board Search. Each year, high school students across the country and around the world take AP courses and exams to challenge themselves, explore their interests, and earn college credit and placement. Today, we're going to share how you can identify and connect with AP students in search to enhance your ability to recruit, to retain motivated prospects for your institution. My name is Scott Smith, and I work on the Recruitment and Enrollment Success Management team at the College Board. Our team is dedicated to supporting colleges and universities' use of College Board Search and helping you fully leverage our tools and services in support of your recruitment and enrollment goals. I'm joined today by my colleague, Brian Wish. So now I'll turn things over to him to introduce himself. Brian.
Thank you, Scott. I work on the Strategic Higher Ed team at College Board. Our team serves as strategic leads and primary points of contact for our member institutions across the United States, helping them with admissions and retention strategies, which include SAT, AP, and landscape.
So we're really excited about today's session, as crafting or expanding upon an AP search strategy can be a game changer for search in 2021. Brian will kick us off with a brief review of the AP program, and we'll spend some time talking about the value of AP for enrollment leaders. He'll share research that will support the use of AP as a channel through which you can connect with students that are more likely to attend college and graduate on time. And I'll then present an overview of leveraging AP in search, the basics of locating exam takers within the database, as well as strategies you'll want to consider as you develop your comprehensive plans for bringing in the classes of 2022 and beyond. Amanda Soul and Carolyn Knoll-Sorg, two of our colleagues from the College Board, are in the chat during today's session, so please feel free to write your questions throughout, and they'll do their best to respond and connect with you and get you additional information. We'll also leave time at the end for Q&A. Today's session is being recorded and will be made available along with a copy of this slide deck to all attendees soon after the event. We're so glad to have you here. And Brian, let's turn things over to you for the overview of the AP program.
Thank you, Scott. As he indicated, we will start today with a brief overview of the AP program. For those not familiar, the Advanced Placement Program, or AP, is a program operated by College Board that allows high school students to study college-level content and demonstrate their mastery of it on a nationally and internationally administered end-of-course exam. The AP program is the product of a partnership between higher education and high school educators, dating back over 60 years, which offers challenging coursework to students while in high school. The AP program represents the largest K-16 educational collaboration in the world. AP relies on high schools to deliver quality education, but we work with higher ed faculty to help us write the curriculum and the exams, as well as score them according to college level standards. More than 16,000 faculty participate every year in the AP program in different ways, and this probably includes faculty from your own campus. Their participation is crucial for ensuring that AP properly prepares students to succeed in college coursework. Every year, millions of students take AP courses and exams, including nearly 40% of graduating seniors in US public high schools. And one reason they participate is in hopes of earning college credit or placement, or both. Students take an end-of-year AP exam that is scored on a 5-point scale, with a score of 3, 4, or 5 considered passing in the comparable college course. This indicates students' preparedness to continue on to subsequent courses once in college. There are 38 AP courses and exams. Each of them is overseen by a development committee composed in equal parts of higher ed and high school faculty. These committees are involved in every step of making rigorous, engaging courses and exams. They create a curriculum framework that outlines the skills and content knowledge required for each course. They create the standards for exam scores by detailing what a student must know and be able to do to earn a particular AP score on the 1 to 5 scale. And they develop all questions for the AP exams, ensuring that both the questions and the exam scoring align to appropriately rigorous college-level learning outcomes. These committees also make sure that AP courses and exams are up to date with the best practices for course content, classroom instruction, and assessment within each discipline. AP also continues to evolve as the result of changes taking place in higher education. For example, we recently launched a new course in AP Computer Science Principles in response to calls for innovative approaches that would help diversify the student population taking an AP Computer Science course. This course experienced the largest inaugural enrollment in the history of the AP program. In recent years, AP has expanded to reach more high school students who benefit from the challenge of experiencing college-level coursework. Currently, 90% of US students attend a high school where an AP course is offered. Over the past decade, the number of US public high school graduates who have taken an AP exam during high school has increased by 43%. As it has expanded, access to AP has grown for historically underrepresented students as defined by race or ethnicity. It has also grown for students attending both urban as well as rural schools, and by income level. To encourage broad participation among all students, including low-income students who might be discouraged from participating in the exam, 29 states and the District of Columbia provide AP funding for low-income students, and 31 states have implemented statewide or system-wide AP credit policies. Along with increased participation, the program has also launched expansive student support services, free online learning, and teacher professional development programs to help improve student performance on exams. Over the past 10 years, the number of US public high school graduates who earned a score of 3 or higher on at least one AP exam has increased by 52%. Looking at these results, one independent researcher, Nat Malkus, calls AP, quote, the single happiest education story of the century. AP's dramatic growth has made it an indispensable part of public education, but the real feat has been maintaining quality at scale, end quote. Having access to AP is important because multiple studies have shown that students who take an AP exam are more likely to enroll in a four-year college compared to students who do not take an AP exam. These same students are also more likely to earn higher grades and to graduate on time as compared to their non-AP peers. These patterns hold regardless of the AP exam score earned. We'll go into these patterns in detail later on. So the research on AP, as well as evidence we hear from colleges, shows that AP supports your institution's key enrollment goals. The program can benefit you at every stage of the enrollment cycle, from recruiting students to making admissions decisions, enriching yield efforts, placing students into the right level of coursework, and encouraging better completion rates. As we talk about search, we know that recruiting to retain is an important mindset for all of you. Strategic outreach to AP students is a perfect addition to this idea. AP students are often interested in majoring in academic areas related to their AP courses and want to hear from colleges about credit and placement policies. Institutions can stand out in the recruitment process by reaching out early and often to AP students who have opted in to hear from colleges and universities in College Board search. So as we go through some specific strategies for outreach, admission and enrollment leaders listening on this call might want to ask themselves the following questions. 1, do you currently take advantage of ways to connect with AP students? And 2, are you engaging in content-specific messaging based on AP exam takers? As you consider these questions, you should know that College Board's AP Higher Ed and Strategic Higher Ed teams are able to help you think through new ways to leverage AP information and research in support of your enrollment goals. Scott is going to now talk with you all about some strategies for using AP in search.
Thanks, Brian. So now that we've had the opportunity to review key details about the AP program and its value for enrollment leaders, let's talk about the opportunity for you to leverage this test taker data in search. Whether you're looking for particular exam takers or simply using AP names as a way to ensure you have complete coverage in a key recruitment territory, AP is a valuable and sometimes overlooked source of college-bound prospects. We've identified 5 key strategies that you're encouraged to explore as you look to strengthen your enrollment funnel with a diverse population of academically motivated students. The first tip we have is that AP provides you with an excellent way to reach students earlier. As of this week, the population of AP students in Search stands at over 654,000 students, taking into account rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And this is before thousands more hit the database next week when AP names are released on August 2nd. More and more enrollment leaders are looking to AP as a way of connecting with younger students, in many cases, months before those students go on to take their first PSAT or SAT exams. And it's an incredibly diverse population of students. For many institutions, using AP as a criteria in Search gives them a much longer runway to build relationships that support key enrollment goals. Let's look at the class of 2020 to get a better understanding of this opportunity. In that class, there were a total of 3.3 million AP exam takers as of the time they graduated last year. 5% of those students took the PSAT and/or the SAT, but took an AP exam first. Looking at the 2020 cohort, there were 164,000 students that fit this description. 55% of those students took their first AP exam as freshmen, and 37% took AP as a sophomore, again, before going on to take the PSAT or SAT. So look to AP as an opportunity to reach a large number of students before you would if you waited for them to take the PSAT or SAT. Strategy number 2 is to connect with students who don't take the PSAT or SAT at all. Using AP search criteria is important because there's a population of students for whom AP will be their only College Board exam. Looking at all of the test takers among our 2020 cohort, approximately 5% took AP exams only. So there are many students who would take AP and will not go on to take PSAT or SAT. If your search strategy is based on those latter 2 exams, you might be missing out on a huge population of college-bound students. As you can see in the graph at the top left of this slide, there are students from all cohorts for whom this is the case. In particular, I'd encourage you to notice the large number of these students in the class of 2021. Nearly 70,000 students in this year's graduating class could only be found by doing an AP search. The map on this slide gives you a rough sense of where these students are distributed across the country, but in truth, they're everywhere. As we're looking at the map, this is a good time to mention that the AP program doesn't discriminate between SAT and ACT states. It's everywhere. As Brian mentioned earlier, AP is in 90% of the country's high schools, and it's worth including in your search strategy no matter where you're looking for prospective students. Our next suggestion is that you consider reaching out to all AP students, regardless of their score. I'm going to share some research that illustrates the confidence that you can have even in lower AP exam scores. But first, a quick look at the search order form. AP students are easy to locate within the search database. Under College Board exams, you'll select AP and then find a few options for searching this population. The first option is to simply search for any AP exam takers as seen at the bottom of the screenshot on the right. As you consider your approach to AP and search, remember that you have the opportunity to connect with students who are putting themselves forward for college-level coursework during high school. You may see AP as a proxy for GPA or other indicators of success that you use in other orders. Because the questionnaire that accompanies registration for AP exams asks for less self-reported information than other exams, such as self-reported GPA, we encourage you to keep your AP orders simple. Fewer criteria will result in a wider reach amongst this highly talented population of college-bound students. And now let's talk about score ranges. If you're accustomed to using scores in your PSAT or SAT searches, You might be inclined to do the same for AP. For example, you might think that applying score ranges is necessary because your institution might award credit only for scores of 3 and above. So why would you want to include 1s and 2s in your orders? The reason is that a great deal of research supports the notion that even test takers who earn 1s and 2s could very well be the kinds of students that you're looking for. First, we know that participation in an AP exam, regardless of score, is a strong indicator that a student will enroll in a four-year college. When compared to academically similar students who did not take an AP exam in high school, we see that AP exam takers are far more likely to go to college. Look at the difference between AP exam takers who score a 1 or a 2, seen here in the purple columns on the left, to their non-AP peers, represented by the gray columns. You may not be able to award them credit, but AP Search is still an excellent way to begin conversations with all AP exam takers, based on the research that shows that these are students who are going to college and who are more likely to graduate on time. And this slide highlights the relationship between AP exam participation and degree completion. The green bars on the left show how on-time degree completion is related for students who have an AP exam score and those who do not have an AP exam score. The differences for both traditional and underrepresented minority students is substantial. The blue columns go a bit deeper into the data. They reveal that there is a positive relationship between AP exam scores and on-time degree completion. Higher AP exam scores are associated with greater proportions of students earning their degree on time, but even exam takers who earn 1s and 2s are more likely to achieve on-time completion of their degrees compared to non-AP takers. Take this information into consideration, especially as you reach out to younger students. After all, today's sophomore earning a 2 might become tomorrow's junior who earns a 3, and you have the opportunity to begin building a relationship with that student a full year earlier. Our fourth strategy centers on the benefit of AP Search to your communications to your prospects. Let's go back to the search order form. This screenshot is now showing the other option that you have for exploring the AP population, selecting particular exams. Many colleges search particular exams with the intention of using that information to target specific populations based on academic interest. You'll notice that we've selected all science and math AP exams here, which allows us to reach out to students interested in STEM. Once you've built order strategies that isolate particular groupings of AP exam takers, you're able to leverage that information in developing communications that will resonate more strongly with your prospects. Imagine being able to develop messaging that far exceeds the impact of your standard general information pieces. For example, you could talk to students taking any one of the AP World Language exams about the opportunity to double major or minor in their language of choice, or highlight study abroad programs that you offer. Many institutions locate AP capstone students in search and engage them on themes that are familiar to them due to participation in the capstone program. Undergraduate research opportunities, independent studies, and things like that. Some institutions target the capstone population for recruitment into honors programs. With the introduction of our newest AP course and exam, AP Computer Science Principles, we've seen a dramatic increase in the number of underrepresented minority students and women exploring computer science in AP. And this is translating into more of those students opting to major in this area in college. So consider reaching out to them as you build diversity for your computer science majors. And it's wise to think about more general messaging that still includes an acknowledgement of a student's participation in AP. More academically focused messaging will appeal to these students who are choosing to take rigorous college-level coursework in high school. We'd also like to remind you that the output file you receive for any search word, not just those in which you use AP participation as a criteria, will include AP exam information for any students who have taken one. There are 10 AP fields on the output file to demonstrate AP participation. These will tell you the last 10 exams that a student sat for. Awareness of AP participation is helpful to identify students with an affinity towards certain majors or subjects, as we discussed earlier, using the example of students more likely to major in STEM if they've taken a related AP exam. So you could use this information to try messaging around AP credit policy, partner with your faculty in communicating out to prospects, or talking about major focused event invitations. You could also consider collecting this information for your own research purposes, making it easier to study the relationship between AP participation and student success outcomes on your campus. Taking advantage of AP information in Search also empowers you to build more data-driven scholarship criteria. Search then takes on the added benefit of helping you target communication about those financial awards to the students who would be more likely to qualify for them. Our last strategy, number 5, focuses on promoting your AP credit policy. If your institution recognizes scores of 3 or higher for credit, we encourage you to see your policy as a competitive advantage. We know that AP credit policies have significant influence on student decision-making. Your policy may be a secret weapon that you haven't been using to its full extent. It can be a key differentiator between your institution and its peers. Maybe this idea will resonate even more right now as campuses begin to think very seriously about the challenges presented by the changing demographic landscape. You can use Search to identify AP test takers in your state and let them know how their hard work will be recognized should they enroll at your institution. Does your state have a statewide credit policy that governs public institutions? Have you taken that into consideration as you compete for in-state students? These maps show the amazing growth in statewide AP credit policies that we've seen over just the past 7 years. These policies ensure that AP exam scores of 3 or higher are guaranteed to be awarded college credit when students enroll at a public college or university in the state. If you work at a public institution in a state with a credit policy, find AP exam takers in your state and remind them of the academic and economic benefits of that policy. And if you work at a private college in one of these states, make sure you're aware of that. And if you have a competitive credit policy, you have the opportunity to leverage Search in communicating that out. As we begin to wrap up today's session, we want to leave you with a few additional takeaways. First, when are AP names available? This year, the testing window for AP took place between May 3rd and June 11th. Exams are then scored at various reading events at the end of June that bring together AP teachers and college faculty from all around the country. After the exams are scored, we're ready to load the names into Search and make them available to you. This year, students who took an AP exam in 2021 and have opted into Search will become available to license on Monday, August 2nd. But we encourage you to remember that the way students enter the College Board Search database has changed. Instead of only being released during our major data loads, we're now adding new students through a weekly indexing process, making it possible to reach students right after they opt into Search, instead of waiting to begin a conversation with them. As far as AP is concerned, there will be some exam takers from this year who haven't yet opted into Search and will do so later on, perhaps when registering for this fall's administration of the PSAT. As these students opt in after August 2nd, you'll have the chance to reach them via Search. So as with all search types, we encourage you to look at your AP licensing strategy as a process conducted over time, rather than a one-time event. Not so long ago, it was the case that AP wasn't widely used in Search, but that has definitely changed. Of all of the institutions who have placed orders since the beginning of 2019, 46% of them have used AP exam criteria. They've responded to the research that highlights the value of AP in meeting key enrollment goals, and have also taken advantage of the fact that the midsummer AP data release gives campuses a head start in communicating with students before many of them go on to take the PSAT or SAT. This is particularly true of rising sophomores and rising juniors. In addition to taking advantage of the August 2nd data release this year, we urge you to consider the creation of standing orders to ensure that you don't miss the opportunity to connect with this population of students as they continue to enter the database throughout the remainder of their high school career. Among other new features coming to Search on September 1, you'll have access to environmental attributes, which are filters that will help you refine your search orders based on characteristics of students' high schools and neighborhoods. Included among these will be an AP-specific criteria that will allow you to search based on AP test-taking rates of the schools students attend and the neighborhoods where they live. Search will now allow you to identify students from high schools and the neighborhoods where the average student has access to at least 3 exams and where students typically take at least 1 exam. More details on this feature will be discussed during a webinar coming up on August 12th. As we wrap up today, we want to remind you that we offer consulting with Search users at no cost, as we want you to get the best return on your search investment. You can request a free consultation with a search expert from our team at cb.org/searchconsult. We've compiled an archive of resources for you to illuminate best practices for your working with College Board search data. You can find that at cbsearch.collegeboard.org. And you can join our search listserv to stay in the know about changes to search and upcoming events like webinars that you can see on this screen. Send an email to collegeboardsearch@collegeboard.org to be added to that listserv. And don't forget to sign up for our upcoming webinars, including the introduction to the new environmental attributes feature on August 12th. Head to cb.org/searchwebinars21 to register. So Brian and I would like to thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining us. And now we'll go ahead and open it up to Q&A. Okay, and we've got one that is talking about availability of names. The question is, you mentioned that AP data may load after August 2nd. Can you explain more about how names may enter the system in August and afterwards? And so that gets back to something that we talked about earlier in the presentation around indexing of names, which is a new process in the past year that you may not be familiar with quite yet. So indexing is basically a way that students get into the College Board Search database outside of our normal schedule of data loads. So instead of students entering only during our major assessment-related data loads, they enter at the time that they opt into Search, and then those names are loaded into Search the following Monday. So it happens right away. So here's how that would impact your outreach to AP students, for example. So not every student who took an AP exam back in May and June of this year opted into Student Search Service at that time, and therefore won't be available to license after or at the data load on Monday. Some of those students will wait to opt in until they register for another test in the future, or when they engage with us on Big Future or something like that. And so when they do finally opt in, that's when their full AP record will become available to you in Search, and your search criteria will capture those names if you're including AP in the criteria. So if connecting with these students is important to you, then we suggest setting up standing orders that will let you reach out to these students as soon as they hit the database, instead of waiting to connect with them months or maybe even as much as a year later. Any other questions? And this can be about search. It can even be about the AP program. We're joined by one of the directors from our AP Higher Ed team, Lawrence Sharaf. So if you have a general question about AP, anything goes. So a question, is it possible to do a one-time purchase of AP names? You certainly can. So if that's what works best for your communication plans and you just want to search the name, you know, put in one order, get those names, and then get a communication out to those students one time, you can definitely do that. While placing a standing order is a great way to make sure that key students that you want to stay or keep track of, that you're always in touch with those students, that they're part of your overall year-long search strategy. We encourage you to explore standing orders, but the one-offs are possible using AP criteria as well. Okay, we have a question about how reliable self-reported GPA is. Typically, those campuses that use self-reported GPA find it to be a reliable criteria within search. So, feel free to use that as an indicator of, likelihood to be admissible, to do well on your campus, if that fits within your criteria, if GPA is important. But also keep in mind that GPA is not something that we expect or that we ask students when they're registering for AP exams. And so at the time of AP registration, the students are not being asked that. If you include GPA as a requirement in your AP orders, then you risk only capturing those students who have taken other College Board assessments and entered that information, during the registration process for another exam. So we have a question about the AP exam window this year. We know that it was longer than usual. It spanned from early May all the way through mid-June. And that was the College Board's effort to make sure that every student who wanted to test had the opportunity to do it this year. And so the question, though, is whether or not that impacts the data load or the completeness of the data load next week. And the good news is that it doesn't. We've had plenty of time to score all of the exams that were taken in May and June. And so not only are those score sends going out to colleges and universities where the students designated their scores to go, but we also, we now for August 2nd have a complete set of data to release into College Board Search for you to leverage in your order strategy. Okay, do we have any other questions? If not, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up this session. We thank you for your time. Thank you for being interested in AP and its connection to search.
Hold on, Scott, there is one more question.
Oh, sure, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, do the majority of schools require students to sit for the AP exam if they take the course, or can some students opt out of taking the exam for cost / potentially not wanting to have lower scores out there? I'm actually going to turn this over to Lawrence Schraub from the AP program.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, the most recent data that we have shows that the very vast majority of students who take the AP course do then sit for the AP exam. The most recent figures that I've heard when we've studied it have been somewhere in the vicinity of 90%. There are different reasons that students might elect not to take the exam at the end. It might have to do with feeling underprepared, that they might not be able to score well on the exam. So it's whether or not the schools require it is going to be, something that's up to the discretion of individual schools. But what we've been asking students to do is to register with us in the fall instead of in the spring, to try to make sure that students who are signed up for AP actually get access to all of the information that we have that goes through their teachers in AP Classroom. And then we have also found that by doing that it really helps to cut down on the number of students who then elect not to sit. What we found is that by making sure that students commit to taking the exam in the fall, they actually have had better performance, and that performance has had a disproportionately positive impact on students who historically have not benefited as much from AP, low-income students or students from historically underrepresented minorities. So this is an important initiative that we had begun that was taking effect just as the pandemic started. We'll be eager to continue to working on this, and we'll have additional data on it available next year.
Thanks, Lawrence. And while you were answering that, Lawrence, we had another question come in, this one about search criteria and whether or not demographic information can be used in your AP orders. As you know, when you open the search order, whether you're searching for SAT, PSAT, AP assessment takers, or even those who have not taken a College Board assessment, you have the same order form that you're working on. Demographic information can certainly be applied to an AP order, but as we mentioned earlier in the presentation, we would just offer a slight caution around over-filtering on these orders. You might inadvertently shrink the number of students that you're reaching with a particular order. We urge you to keep in mind the output file that's part of any search order, regardless of the criteria you use. If we have demographic information, self-reported demographic information, race, ethnicity, and so on, that a student has self-reported, it will be in that output file and you can filter accordingly. So just a note there to keep an encouragement, I should say, to keep your AP orders simple, and then take advantage of that output file. And also another quick plug for our services. We're more than happy to sit down with you virtually, talk about your order strategy for this year, how you might incorporate AP into it if that's not something that you've done before, and offer some of these important reminders that you want to keep in mind to make the most of your searches this year. Okay, we'll do a quick check for any remaining questions. I'm not seeing any at the moment, but we're always here to help. My email address and Brian's are both on the screen now. And you can always reach out to your College Board contact if you've got one, and if you don't, just go ahead and visit the General Search site and we'll be in touch soon. Again, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.